The energy of those two at the end is actually what makes it, because she's just like looking off into the distance, just like, I don't know why everybody's so excited about this. And then the other guy is also looking the other way, like completely acting like he doesn't even know they're sitting next to him. And the boyfriend goes like, what happened? What's going on? He's just like, I don't know.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode here on Creative Journey. I am AB, and that is Wolf. What's up, Wolf?
I'm deeply concerned for you.
Why?
In my soul, I don't know. It's just, I'm just watching all the things happening here, and there's just so much concern. You're on probably like your fifth pot of coffee over there.
No fifth pot. That is the first cup in about 4 days.
Seattle Supersonics hat on and shit.
See, you about to start the hat stuff again.
All right.
All right. So the hat is Beloit Snappers.
What's the booga booga stuff about, though? That's what I'm curious about. Where did that come from?
What? The thing that I was doing to get ready to go.
Oh, vocal warm-ups. I got you. I forgot about our vocal warm-ups. I need to get some of those.
I guess that's what it ended up being. I wasn't trying to. Man, this morning has been a nuts type of morning, but in a good way. In a good way. You just saw something that I sent you. I sent that to you and a few other night owls, and I wasn't expecting that, man. First off, when I watch reels and they say wait for it or watch to the end and all that, I have wasted so many brain cells watching stuff like that it's like, what was the point? And this particular time, I don't know if I even paid attention to it. I love going to the games, like when we go to the Bucks games and we'll see the kiss cams and all the other cams that come up. So it's pretty cool, especially if you end up on the camera and you're able to dance. I think the last time we were there was like a dance cam, so we actually ended up on the camera. So that was pretty cool. So
that's my hell. That is literally my worst case scenario, is I end up on one of those fucking cameras.
It is fun, man. Don't run to it.
Nobody's running. I'm just saying, like, I'm just here minding my own business, trying to enjoy a fucking sports event, and they're trying to kiss cam, do a jig. Like, what Isn't
it for entertainment?
I get everybody else is entertained. If I end up on one of those things, I'm flicking the camera off. I'm not. But I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm gonna tell them to kick you out.
I'm happy for you
for ruining the fun.
I'm happy for you.
Oh man, so in this particular reel, I didn't see that coming at the end. It made me have so many thoughts about that ending. I mean, you could
There's
go
a million
moral,
stories in there.
Yeah, you can go morally. You can just go, just the opportunistic seeking, or it's like, did y'all know each other beforehand? Is that like his best friend? Like, who is he to her, or excuse me, who is he to him, if anything? Or are they just complete strangers? So that was nuts.
For context for listeners, it's they're doing a kiss cam at a basketball game, and it cuts to a guy and a gal sitting like one seat apart. And at first the girl's like, get away from me, I don't want this. And then they look at each other and she's kind of like, yeah, you wanna? And then the guy's like, well, oh really, you want it? And they have a little quick smooch, and then it moves on to other people, and the camera cuts back probably like 3 people later, and the girl's boyfriend is sitting down in between them, puts the arm over her casually. And the energy of those two at the end is actually what makes it, because she's just like looking off into the distance, just like, I don't know why everybody's so excited about this. And then the other guy is also looking the other way, like completely acting like he doesn't even know they're sitting next to him. And the boyfriend goes like, what happened? What's going on? He's just like, I don't know.
It was so funny.
And
I'm over here like rut row.
He's gonna sit down, put the arm over it. The energy of both of them as he came back is what made that. Because if they were best friends, you would imagine they would be laughing about it. But like either if they're friends and there's something going on in the back, or it's like truly just a stranger and she just doesn't give it, or he's just like a super jealous boyfriend and she was trying to get away from it, and then she's like, "No, I'm tired of this relationship. I need out. Save me, Kiss Cam.
Save me." Oh my God. Yeah, so many things in that because
relationships are hard.
It was, and honestly, in fact, when he put his arm around, I don't think it was just a casual reach around. He like put his arm, pulled the clothes, and like, "I'm back. You missed me. I missed you," type
100%.
thing. And she just kind of like, why is the camera on us? And I guess he kind of looked up and saw him. Was like,
"Yeah, what do you mean you're the winner?"
Oh man,
what happened? Crazy. Why did we win, honey?
What did we win? We won nothing.
We won. We might have to talk at the end of this. Let's hope the Supersonics win the game.
I hope. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, that was crazy. That was a crazy start to the day. Another aspect to my day was so many things that happened that leads into today's topic of fuck it. And
fuck it. Is that the topic today?
Fuck it, bro. That's why I didn't even tell you. I knew that might make your day.
I love it.
So before that, though, before I even get into that, before we got on, you were strumming away at your guitar. Why did you put it up? I thought you was going to play it for us.
Because I don't perform.
Look here, man. I'm not trying to put you in the Coliseum and make you fight
I
a lion.
I have never been one to play guitar while being perceived or recorded other than in casual settings. I don't know if it's I mean, for sure, it's a little bit of a self-consciousness thing. And even when I was making music back in the day, which is like, it's starting to hurt me that I'm saying I used to make music, but that's something else to deal with. It takes me a lot of takes. I'm not very technically talented. I can figure out the songs, and like the one I was playing is one that I kind of just play as my warm-up. But it's like every time I hear an error, I get embarrassed when somebody else is listening, and it's like, I hit the wrong.
But everyone doesn't hear that error though. Only the trained ear is going to hear that it happened. But at the same time, you know where the applause is going to come in?
Where's that?
That you recovered, and you did it in such a way that the untrained ear won't hear it. Or if they're watching you play, like trying to watch you strum the chords. The untrained eye won't see that you missed the chord. The trained eye will, but in seeing, I can always give kudos to and appreciate when I see the recovery, and then you just move, you continue to move through it. So I don't think there's anything to be embarrassed about. Just say, fuck it, keep going.
I'm not mad about that. That's true. That's true.
So I'm over here. You had me bring out this beauty of mine. Now, I don't know anything about guitars. I looked at one before I left Texas when I was getting out, and I was like in the last couple of months, I said I always wanted to play a guitar. In fact, I had a guy that went to boot camp with me. We ended up in Pensacola, Florida for aviation school, avionics school, and he said he had never played. And so he went and bought a guitar, and I think we ended up being there for about 3 months. So he bought his guitar, and I would see him every now and then strumming away in his room. He would bring it out into like one of the lounge areas and would play, one of the acoustic areas where you can play music. And he just would play, and he would just learn his way through some songs, and he would stumble through a lot of songs. But when I tell you, by the time we left there, we got there in August. By the time we left there in fact, by the time we went home for Christmas, because we took a Greyhound together to Atlanta from Pensacola, and he was strumming away at some songs in just that short period of time, and he was taught. And I always remembered that. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that it was that easy to play a guitar. But to say that, right, that's what I thought then. What I began to understand years later, and even now when I bought mine, it's not that it's easy. It's that it requires the time. It requires the practice. And when you continue to put in the continued effort and consistent effort, it doesn't mean you're playing hours upon hours a day. However many minutes a day he was playing, evidently it was consistent enough that he was able to go from not knowing how to play a guitar in August to playing several songs in December. So, and I don't think he was lying to me. I think
about not playing before.
It seemed like he didn't know what he was doing. He was, like I said, stumbling along on learning chords, and next thing you know, he's playing songs, like songs we recognize. So I thought that was pretty good. So in that, backing up to when I got ready to get out of the Navy, I thought about that, and I was like, I should get me a guitar. And this is
Hummingbird.
Yeah, that is what I picked up. I loved how it felt. I wanted something acoustic, but I guess to also have the ability to plug into an amp and
a little bit of amplifications.
Yeah. So I love that. I started playing. I bought picks. Started playing. I bought tuners and all that kind of stuff. So I learned how to tune it, and I just would strum along. The funny part is when I used to drink, I would a lot of the songs that I loved playing, because we were in Texas at the time, of course, I bought this. There was a lot of country. So there was in particular is, oh my goodness, I'm losing his name right as I'm speaking. I'll think of it in a moment. But in particular, there's a few particular players that I really, really enjoyed listening to. So I started learning how to play those songs particular. Of course, I was trying to learn the chords, but I was trying to learn those songs in particular. So yeah, you made me think of that when you were playing yours, because I haven't I guess the other side to the story is I haven't really played it in a while, and I do want to pick it back up and practice at doing that. And I'm gonna go somewhere with that here in a moment. Based on, like I said, the title of the episode today, but practicing is definitely what I need to do.
Yeah, I actually just did a quick math exercise on this. It turns out 10 minutes is 1% of your day. So if you want to get 1% better at anything every day, you put 10 minutes in. At the end of 90 days, you're 90% better than where you started. We could say 100% in 3 months,
Wow. Yeah.
At the end of a year, 365%. So if you can just put in 10 minutes every day consistently, that's 1% better at whatever you're trying to do. And you can get very far in 6 months.
That's shocking. And we don't think about that, I don't think, often enough. We feel like we've got to put in these long hours. We hear about players like Kobe, would put in long hours in the gym. Michael Jordan put in long hours in the gym, and at home practicing. And we think that's what it takes, like completely shutting out the world and dedicating. And don't get me wrong, it does take a true dedication to the art form of whatever it is that you're trying to do, if that's going to be your lifestyle. However, like in this particular case, just learning how to play a guitar, 10 minutes a day, because we weren't doing it for all these months that I've had it. I haven't done a thing. So definitely 10 minutes a day is a whole lot more than what I've been doing. So that's a good point.
Doesn't take a lot other than consistency, which is everything. So it takes everything. Tricky, that compound interest.
Right. Luke Combs. That's who it is. Luke Combs.
Yeah. I was just listening to a Chris Stapleton as well. I'm getting into a little bluegrass country vibe at the moment. And Sturgill Simpson as well. Love his shit.
I probably messed my guys up. Maybe I got a little more love on the baseball team when I was coaching. So we went on, the first trip we went was Upper Iowa, and this was before the NCAA canceling the season in 2020. And on the road trip, I want to say it was on the road trip back. Much like I've done before on any road trip with a bunch of guys, bunch of players playing, we sing songs and just have challenges and do stuff. So one of the challenges was karaoke. And and you always know that there's going to be the book cover that you see that doesn't match what you read or the information that comes out. So seemingly enough, there are definitely guys that went before me that rapped some songs and did well. And then there's guys that did the, what we would probably feel the typical alternative type pop songs and that kind of stuff. So for me to come up and spout out some strawberry wine, I had to start singing. So start doing some Chris Stapleton, man. They were shocked, but I felt like I did a good job. I knew the words. I knew the flow of it and the whole 9 yards. But
I love that.
I wanted to shock the shit out of them by doing some country because I don't think and back up. I'm sorry. I'm thinking as soon as I said it, I'm thinking about my guy. He loved country. That's probably the flow over into the guitar with me listening to Luke Combs and wanting to play those songs because that's what he played. He loved country. He bought the hats. This joker would have the hats on with some boots and some damn shorts. The shorts like the old basketball players played back in the day. Yeah. He would have those on and be out in the yard with no shirt on playing his guitar, man. It was fun. That dude was so cool. I wish I could remember his name. If he walked up and slapped me today, as long as he looked the same, I would know exactly who he is. But yeah. Oh man, yeah. It was good because that was I felt that was the flow over into me and country and how I really love country. I enjoy country. Now there's some country, I guess the classic, if it's classical country, I don't care for, but more of the whatever's the new age stuff, the Luke Combs.
Oh man, I'm the flip
is what I like. Now I'll go back to, I think when I really started listening to country, it was like Shania Twain, like no joke. I was listening to Shania Twain and man, I could see his face. What is it, Aldean?
Yeah,
Jason Aldean.
Jason Aldean. Yeah.
Jason Aldean. Okay. Yep. And many others.
He's a great guitarist. Yeah.
So that's how I got into really listening to country was then and listening to them and progressed through the years. So that was my country journey and the road trip on the bus that I thought went pretty well. So I hope it did, guys. If anybody sees this, I hope it did.
the guy Gorilla Nems, Bing Bong.
Yeah,
fuck your life.
Yeah.
I just dug into him a little bit, and he said something that I loved. He was like, as I grow and try and become a decent human being, like if you're the same person you were 10 years ago, you fucked up in life. Like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
The things I used to like, not necessarily the things I like now. Country has grown on me over time. It's like everything. You don't want to be the same person you were 10 years ago because you should be changing. Your taste should be changing. You never know what you're going to, it's, yeah.
Try new things, man.
Try new things. Everything has value in it. I recall a guy, I was talking shit when I was a teenager. I was like, I like everything except country. Country sucks. It's the worst. And he was like, there's some good guitar in those country songs if you listen. And then probably like 10 years later, I was listening. I was like, shit, this guy is rocking that guitar. This is an amazing song. And he's singing about his tractors and his cowboy boots. And I'm still into it. I don't know anything about this life, but this is fantastic. Let's rock, boy. You know what I mean?
It's good stuff, man. It is good stuff. And I'll say I love that. I got to look my guys up because I can't remember. I'm seeing his face. But I love that the genre is growing and diversifying in the sense that artists of color are really beginning to shine in the country space, and I'm certain, just like anything else, the normalcy of what it used to be is rubbing some folks the wrong way because they don't want it to change. But I'm happy to see it change because you have people like myself that love music, and because I am a person that hears music, I don't hear words first, I hear music first. So I love melodies, I love the notes from the keyboard and cymbals and all of the nuances of more silent instruments in the background, and then of course the heavy hitting bass and whatever else that comes with it. So I get into that, and for country, that didn't do it for me for a long time. But like I said, as I started hearing country as I got older, into my late 20s, early 30s, then I really began to appreciate. So I'm glad to see some of the artists that are out now that look more like me, that are doing an amazing job and really representing what I could say representing country well.
And you know what? Shout out to Lil Nas X on that, because he broke that motherfucker wide open. Oof. That old country road, some barriers came down. And the thing is, to me, if you look at music history, people of color have always been country adjacent. It's called Delta blues, rhythm and blues. It's like it's all the same kind of background. It's just when you go to the Billboard charts, for whatever reason, the record exec said, "Now we like our country folks a little wider. You guys can have that R&B and that blues section." But all that shit is so closely connected. All of them are playing together in the same clubs. It is a beautiful thing to start seeing the lines really blur. And I love it. 100% agree.
Let's see. Let me find my playlist. I haven't updated my playlist, my country playlist, in a while. Let me see, who will I find in it? Come on. Where are you? Let's see. I know I probably named it something crazy. Here we go. Country Living. That's what I put. What I got in here? Kane Brown. That's who I was trying. I knew it started with a K. I couldn't get it. Homesick and Weekend. Those were the two songs that got me when it came to Kane Brown. That was back in 2019 when I made this playlist. We got Luke Bryan, Luke Combs, and speaking of Lil Nas X, Old Town Road is in here. And I've got some more country playlists as well. But yeah, those are just some of the few I wanted to remember from 2019, because that's when it really got heavy for me living in Texas. So love it.
All that being said, fuck it. Where are we going with that?
Practice.
Hey, the more I practice, the luckier I get. Let's hear it.
So I'm listening to Authentic as Fuck podcast. Sun Yi and Tess is talking, and they're talking about the multifaceted, multi-passionate entrepreneurs that have many different things that they want to do and are trying to do them at the same time. And one of the things I thought about when he hit a couple of key things, and one of the things was about doing the thing 80% of the time, and then maybe there's a thing that you enjoy doing, so try doing that and do it sometime. The difference was, one of my mentors a few years ago was telling me that you need to drop 2 of the 3 things that you are considering the thing you want to do. And he doesn't talk from a passion standpoint. He believes that and he's right to a certain extent. He feels that passion is only a portion of it. When it comes to whatever your end game is, or whatever your goal is, that should be the driving factor. So in his case, of course, he happens to be someone that loves cars. He owns so many exotic cars, and just cars, period. And he was talking about the purchase of a Ferrari. I want to say Pista Stradale. I forget the name that goes with that, but it's a a particular car that is an actual track car. And that's crazy. I can't remember the name of this thing. Anyway, I'm kind of getting mad at myself because I normally know this, but I'm on the mic in front of the camera, so I'm forgetting stuff, right? Like a game show.
Ferraris.
Like a game show where you know that answer and you can't say it because you're in front of the camera. Yeah, so I'm having that moment, I guess. So, but he just bought this car, and his thing is that he loves racing, and he wants to learn how to race. So he hired someone that's going to help him learn how to race, and then he's entered these racing circuits. But you got to pay into that. It's sponsorships, and this are millions of dollars to do this.
Expensive.
So it is very expensive. So it's not a very highly attainable hobby for most of us. So what he was using was that analogy, saying that I am passionate about cars. I'm passionate about learning how to race, but I can't follow my passion for that to generate money because that would be unrealistic. So what he was saying was people saying follow your passion and make money with your passion. Well, he's like, that doesn't ring true because this is my passion and I'm not going to make money. I'm not going to race like these other guys in NASCAR and Indy. I'm not doing that. So what he said is the things that I had to do to make money to excel with his software company, I had to dig deep and understand the industry and understand how to make it work. And I had to put in the time. I had to be consistent. I had to practice and do the thing. Therefore, I became successful that way. So that's the tangent on the passion part. So that's where he reels you in, or at least reels in the understanding of it's not all about passion. It's doing the thing that you need to do, being consistent at it, putting in the time, and then that's how you excel and be successful in the thing that you want to do. But you got to decide what that thing is, and you go all in on that thing. Now, Son says something a little different. He did say you go all in on that thing. He said, but if you have multiple passions, you have multiple things that you feel you're really good at, or you want to get really good at least that's my paraphrasing of that. You've got to put in the 80% at least. And he just said 80%, but I feel like you got to put in the 80% at least. And then on the other thing, don't just not do it, but you realize you have to do it in small increments and it doesn't take up as much of your time. Because if the thing you're doing is making the money for you and your family and the things that you want to make, the resources that you want to use to make a difference in your community, then you've got to focus on that thing. And then the other aspect of it, again, don't let it go. If I want to learn how to play the guitar, don't let it go. Find the 10 minutes a day to pick it up and be consistent at doing that. But don't just stop doing it altogether because I'm just going to solely focus in on doing podcasts, or I'm just going to focus solely on creating YouTube videos. So that was the thing that I got from that. So, but I'll let you talk on that a little bit more, but I still got a fuck it moment from this weekend.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about this because, and I don't know if this is me getting back into full-time employment. Like, there's so many people on the internet trying to tell you what percentage of time to do what with your, like, you got to keep the main thing is something Errol Gerson says, which is great. And I love it because it doesn't say you have to go all in. It doesn't say 100%. It says keep the main thing. That doesn't mean there aren't other things. It's just be clear about what you're focused on. What is your primary focus of your time? Because in reality, you're not doing anything 100% of the time for all 12 hours, 16 hours you're awake. It's like you should be living your life, enjoying your time on earth. It's if you want to pick up a guitar and screw around, just why not? Like if you want to try home brewing beer, why not? Like there are so many other things that come up that if you're not taking advantage of a variety of things in life, you're missing out on half of the experience you could be having. So it's like, yeah, I completely agree. Be clear on what your primary focus is. Be clear on what it is that you really want to drive towards right now, but you can't turn off being human and an opportunity for spontaneity and just enjoying all the different things that come with the miracle of life itself.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on that.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought. The thing, the priority, focus on the thing. Yeah. That's a great takeaway from that. Wow. Who is this again? Say his name again.
Errol Gerson.
Errol Gerson.
ERROLGERSON. He has a great episode on the Future podcast. And he's part of he's one of the coaches, him and Ian Thakra, in 3.175. It's a creative entrepreneurial coaching community. And he's a fascinating dude. He's like an older dude living in California, and he is just full of stories, acronyms, NO, next opportunity, fail, FAIL, first attempt in learning. One of my favorites, luck, is the only 4-letter word that ends in UCK that I find vile, because he doesn't believe luck is, isn't that good? Yeah.
That's good.
That's
good. I don't believe in luck.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he's saying. If you're talking about luck, and that's where I got also, the more I practice, the luckier I get. I forget. I think it's Arnold Palmer maybe said that. Some golfer said that. When he drilled like some incredible putt, somebody was like, "You're so lucky." And he said, the more I practice, the luckier I get.
Yeah, the practice part. It's the practice part. Yeah, it's the practice part that we've seen. And just think of sports, and I think maybe some people will recognize this. Think about either the catches we see in football or baseball, and maybe even the shots we see hit, just crazy shots that are hit. And first person I really think of when it comes to these crazy shots is Steph Curry.
First one I thought of as well, for sure. And it's wild.
Yeah, and the thing is, what you don't know if you haven't been watching him or looking at social media or any of the behind the scenes of him over the years, is that this just doesn't happen in a game. It's just tried in a game. This is stuff that is practiced and done every single day. And remember, if you think about firefighters, or you think about surgeons, if you think about anyone that has to do something that is different, the situation can be different every single time. It's the practice that had to go in it. Firefighters specifically, they're practicing, they're having to do drills and all of these different things to prepare them for a worst case scenario. And it's not all of a sudden in the moment when the floor collapses and the roof collapses and you're buried under stuff, that all of a sudden now we got to figure out, well, man, what do we do? How do we communicate? How do we find? How do we excavate? How do we do any of this stuff? There's been practice that has been put in. So of course, when they get on scene and can use the jaws of life to get you out of a car that's mangled so badly that there's no way to get you out and surprise you're even alive, then that's the practice that has gone into that. So the same thing with anything. Back to Steph Curry making these crazy shots from well beyond the 3-point line and just so quickly. It's come from practice, period. I think I lost myself as to where I was actually going with that, but it's in the moments that you continue to do whatever the thing is that you are doing, that you are going to get better. It does not happen overnight. I'm going to have to circle back to that. I think I got myself lost on where I was taking that, but chime in wherever you'd like to chime in on that.
No, yeah, you're on point. It's repetitions. We see the excellence on display in the games, especially in games like football, where it's like you see once a week, you see the plays happening, but they're spending the other 6 days getting ready to make those plays every week. It's like all of and especially musicians as well, the amount of times they've played that song, the amount of hours they've put in. So like when I'm giving myself a hard time for hitting the wrong string, I haven't played that song 10,000 literal times to be able to just bang it out no matter where I am. And even then, they're still going to make mistakes. And that recovery we talked about is where they're really like in a concert, it always seems perfect. Everything seems pitch perfect at a great concert. And I can almost guarantee something went wrong at some point. You got the roadie flying out with like the trying to plug something in that went out, and everybody else in the crowd is just still losing it. And the bassist is probably sweating bullets, but they just plug it in right on time. And he's just up there strumming away, you know, like you see that every show. Nothing ever goes perfect. And yeah, like you're saying, it's the repetitions that let you fail gracefully, recover, get back into it without missing a beat.
Yeah.
You can't beat practice. Time in the game, repetitions. It's literally everything.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Tying into the weekend for a fuck it moment, much like the start of this podcast, thought about doing that for the other channel and just trying to figure out what my angle was going to be. You know, I'm trying to fill a gap with information for automotive YouTubers or automotive enthusiasts. You know, what's there that I'm not seeing.
What's the name of the channel, by the way? You're a terrible marketer.
The channel is Euro Auto Enthusiasts.
Fantastic. I'm so glad people can find that. So please proceed. What were you saying about helping your Euro audio enthusiasts? Yeah.
I was going to plug it. Good.
Euro auto enthusiasts. The other channel. He says the other channel.
Yeah. I was, you know what? Bad. What's those things called? For your website. What is it called? When you're trying to get them to do the action, not the call to action, but funnel.
Call to action.
Yeah, the call to action, but the funnel. The funnel process.
Put them in the funnel. We're sticking them in the funnel. You're at the top of the funnel now, folks. Get ready
you're
to
at the top
fall
of the
in.
funnel.
Just be tripping all the way down into that. Yeah. There's going to be an offer at the end for the low price of $2,000. Actual value, $20K. Come on now. Come get it. Sorry. What were you saying? You had a fucking moment. What did you do this weekend? Let's talk about it.
So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fill this gap. And me as an automotive DIYer on BMWs, it is imperative that I understand, at least when I'm trying to work on something, it's imperative for me to know what the pitfalls are in some of the things, because certain aspects of repairs require like attention to detail on things. And I just feel like that is left out. There's not a segment where we talk about that. There's a lot of YouTubers out that have created shows and have content that show working on cars, and they do highlight some of that. But I just want a segment where there's just more than one person talking about it, and let's get a few of us talking about it consistently. And that way viewers that want to just know the information, at least as they take it to a shop to get repairs done, a service done, or if they're going to do it themselves, just what to be aware of. Because it's easy to talk about a car that is, you know, it's got, let's just say a BMW, older BMW, or even some of the newer ones, you know, have brittle plastic parts when it comes to the cooling system. So we all know that. We understand that. But what are some of the nuances to how you remove this part, or which part should I be careful with removing? And what should I know going in that needs to be replaced? Because there was plenty of times early in my journey that I just was going at it. I had no idea about any of these things. And even if it did happen to them, them as in whoever was doing the repair or the service, they didn't share that this thing happened. And I'm guilty of that too, because I never, at least at this point, I hadn't started content back when I was working on the 330 Ci, which is that car, and where it happened. So I need to tell those stories of that happening, because definitely there's some guys that have bought that car recently that needs to know those certain key steps. So with all that said and done, an opportunity came up because of a repair that I'm doing on my car found out there's a there's some guys or a company that have created a solution to the very thing that I just was doing. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to him. I just said, hey, I'm not able to necessarily take advantage of buying the product because I'd already done the repair, and I'm not taking that thing back apart to replace it with the other part, which I would love to have done it if I knew about it beforehand. But I was like, what can I do to at least let other people know that if they're experiencing the same thing I experienced, hey, here's a solution, and it just came out, and it's at a great price. So I DM'd him and said, hey, how about coming on my podcast? He didn't know it was new, at least not yet. But how about coming on my podcast? Let's talk about it. I just went through an issue with mine. I just had to buy the genuine parts, but I would much rather have bought yours if they were accessible to me. And I think this would be a good opportunity to get the word out about it. Had I known prior to, then I would have bought. So let's start that dialogue. So that was the gap I am filling. So I started Shop Talk. Euro Auto Enthusiast presents, excuse me, Euro Auto Enthusiast presents Shop Talk. So I created that podcast, and within a week, I think it'd been within 5 days we shot it. We shot it, and I edited it yesterday, and I put it out there for the world to see it. So I'm just going to continue to look at things that I've had to do, questions I've had about these different things, why they did what they did, and someone that's filling that gap with providing parts or the service or whatever that is, I'm going to talk to them about it. If they're willing to come on the show and have a conversation, then that's the conversation we're going to have. So the information is what I needed. Its information is what I still seek. And I feel that fellow DIYers and just enthusiasts in general should have that information. So that's the gap that I'm filling. And I just said, everything that I wanted to be in place isn't in place for the podcast. I really wanted to start it in a garage or studio. I think that we were in the process of looking for property and moving. So I wanted all that in place first. But I just said, fuck it. It's not in place, but this is the opportunity now. So I got to shoot the gap now.
How'd it feel recording it? How'd you feel as a host interviewing solo?
It honestly, because I'm in my natural element, it was relatively easy. I could see the nerves on him because I even offered to do live or record it, and he was like, "Oh no live. I ain't ready for that. This is my first time on here. In fact, tell me how I do this whole thing." And I had him call me before we started recording, went in studio, and I had him call me so I could walk him through how to do it. And he did good. He had everything set up. Connection wasn't the greatest, but he got everything set up. He shared some very good information. But as far as hosting, the practice, the repetitions had come from here. It had come from here, my friend. So
I seem to recall you said it had been like 3 or 4 years you were sitting on the idea of starting a podcast at all, yeah? And then when you didn't have your first guest on until episode 13, 14, was it?
Right, 14 for us.
And now you're at 2 in the last 2 weeks.
Bro, what is going on?
Sounds like compound interest to me.
What are y'all doing to me, man? Yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it does.
That's
where
so
confidence comes from. Yeah, that's where the confidence comes from. You get yourself put out there, or you put yourself out there, and things happen that make you uncomfortable. But if you dare to jump and do it, the next time it comes up, you're not scared to do it. It's like you've been doing this before, so it's easy to just transition and do that when the opportunity arises, because there's no luck involved, bro.
100% no.
There was no luck involved with running across that dude, because I had been seeking the information. I think that thing that we don't like about algorithms and the AI listening to us when it presented that, because it just popped up. I hadn't looked at Miguel Beamer is the guy. He's one of the creators of Beamer Invasion, which is a car show, big massive car show. They had one in Orlando, getting ready to do one in LA, end of the year or end of the car season. But I hadn't seen any of his stuff in a minute. But because I had been posting content about valve covers, and that's what AI and our algorithm does, it picks up on all of that information. And the first thing that pops up on last Saturday morning was, I'm sorry, not last Saturday morning, Monday morning was that video. That was the first thing. And I was like, now I was mad. I was like, where was this last week? But the opportunity presented itself and I was ready for it because of all of the practice that has gone in. So yeah, there's no such thing as luck, y'all. I don't believe in that word. There's no such thing as luck. Preparation meets opportunity. That's when you're successful. That's when you're successful. Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, I want to give you your flowers on the speed of execution there too. Instead of thinking about it, trying to perfect it, just putting it up. That's fantastic, man.
Thanks,
because now it's done, right? And now the momentum, that first seed is planted. It doesn't have to have all the extra perfect timing. It doesn't have to have the perfect schedule. It's just like, here's an option. When the opportunity arises, I can strike every time. Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Got out of your own way.
Got out of my way, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you as well. That's that's
patting your back. Can you feel it?
No, yeah, I feel it. I feel it. There it is. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I found out my best friend and his wife are pregnant.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Yeah, congratulations.
Saw that in the group. Thinking about it even now.
Wow.
And it's kind of fun. Like, I'm gonna be Uncle Wolf in a way, not a legit uncle, but like the uncle. And it's making me think differently in kind of terms of like what time means and how I spend my time, and the way that 1% better is really like so much when you think about it. It's like, it feels like, 10 minutes, whatever. But if you throw away a day without doing 10 minutes of something that matters to the future, it seems like a big waste. And my fuck it moment this morning was putting this camera I'm looking into on a tripod and figuring out how to set this up, because I bought this, I got it for like $700 used camera, and I've used it twice. It crapped out on me in an interview on one, so I only got half the interview on camera because I didn't know about the battery life. Mad at myself, and I have this tendency of anytime something goes wrong or like feels like it's shifted too much from where I wanted it to be, I just don't look at it. I just like keep on trying to put it off. I just don't want to open the box and see what I actually have in front of me, if you will.
Right.
And I don't know, for whatever reason today, I was just like, I was setting up my iPhone the same as I usually do. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to use this camera. I don't know if this is going to work out right. I hope it stays live the whole time. I'm sure I can figure this out. And in about 10 minutes, actually, I had my setup over here. It's not hard.
Right.
But that mental bump of just like, just make it a little more difficult for me today than it was yesterday, because it'll pay off. Because I'll get more comfortable using the thing. And I learned about a new feature on here that I didn't know about before. And how does that tie into my future niece? I just hope that I can give her that kind of perspective. I'm sure her parents will give her that perspective too. But it's like thinking about the ability to impact young people early and say, hey, don't worry about all this extra stuff they're putting on you. Give yourself that 10%. Just stay focused on doing the things you're happy about. If I can even put a little bit of that seed into her mind and just see where it goes, it's just fantastic.
That's awesome. I love that, man.
I love it.
Man, so much love in the air right now, bro. I feel you. I hear you. I was ecstatic to see the chat. You know what's so funny about that chat? Real talk.
The small group leader chat.
Yeah, if you don't stay on top of that, man, you got to run back through some stuff.
It goes fast.
Yesterday, because of everything that was going on with recording and editing and all that stuff, I fell behind. I actually caught up on Thursday with the chat. So when I went in last night and someone was replying to all Wolf, congratulations, I was like, huh? Like, what did I miss? So I'm running back through the thread trying to see what happened. Yeah. And I'm like, you wanted to spread what information? Like, what are you talking about? So to go back and see that, and then just to see that it was a matter of spreading joy and love of exciting news that impacts two beautiful parents that are family members or extended family members or close friends or whoever they are to you, but to have so much happiness and joy for them and want to share that because you feel so happy and joyous for them and their great news. And then now to hear what the joy and happiness really, like, what was the context of that? Because I'm thinking, oh man, he's just happy for them. That's great. But the context of what your role is, because it becomes bigger than you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It becomes, what is it that I can do for this little girl as she grows? How can I continue getting better and becoming a better version of myself so that it positively impacts her life and helps her become a better version of herself every day. So that is awesome to hear that context. And that is, if you ain't got any love in your heart by now, I don't know what's going to put any love in your heart, folks. That is amazing. That is amazing. Congratulations. I am wishing you all the best on this journey. And in fact, you're making me think about the fact that I got to send a gift to my physical therapist because she had a baby recently. And the funny part was, back in September when I started my physical therapy journey, there was this, we have a very, very good connection, an amazing connection. And I am so appreciative of everything she's done to push me to get better and not allowing for me to, I don't think I was allowing myself to do it anyway, but she never allowed for me to think that I could not push past the uncomfortability, but also recognize if there's pain to stop. Like, she didn't overdo it, but she didn't let me underdo it. And but along the way, within the last couple of months, I noticed a bump. He hadn't told me. I wasn't telling her. Because I had an experience after coming home from my first year of college, running into a grade school teacher. I think she was like my third grade teacher. And I saw her and her daughter out at the mall one day, and I saw her and I was like, hey, Mrs. I'm not even going to say her name because I think I remember the name now. In fact, I did remember the name. Actually, I'm going to say the name. Mrs. Weems. Mrs. Weems. I saw her and her daughter, and I was like, hey, how are you doing? I don't know if you remember me. I was in your third grade class. I'm in college now, and at Valdosta State and doing the baseball thing and all this stuff. And she was like, oh, that is great. And, you know, whatever she said. And I was like, man, it's so great to see you. And I see you're pregnant now. And she was like, I'm not pregnant. Oh. And I was just like, yo. Retro. I don't know what happened. All I know is we ended that conversation, and as I was walking off, man, you may as well, you know how in the cartoons, I don't remember who it is, but their hand is dragging the floor. Man, my face, my hand, everything was dragging the floor because I was just like, I really stuck my foot in my mouth on that one. But yeah, it wasn't until hindsight that I was like, well, older women have children. So was I wrong to think that? Maybe I wasn't wrong to think it. I just was wrong to insinuate and say that out loud. So with that said, lesson learned, and it carried forward to today. And most recently when I saw the baby bump, and I was like, I will not, because I don't know what might be going on. And but she did eventually let me know a couple of weeks prior that I might be getting, in fact, the week prior, letting me know that I might get a phone call where we got to reschedule, or they're going to reschedule me with another therapist. So sure enough, I had gotten that call, and I reached out and congratulated and got the address. And now I got to send a gift. What should I send, by the way? In fact, I don't think she told me if it was a boy or girl. What should I send? I got to find out if it's a boy or girl first, right?
Send some diapers.
I thought about that too. I was just going to order from Amazon.
I don't know, man.
Let me see. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Maybe I won't figure it out on the call, but I need to figure out what to send. I don't see. There was no confirmation of boy or girl here, but I'm gonna find that out. Let's see. Are there any new pics?
I'd ask the night owls what to send, because there's plenty of moms in there that don't know exactly what to. Yeah.
There are. Let me see if anybody else hinted at if it's a boy or girl. Anyway, I'll figure this out. Somebody said it's a girl.
Okay.
Baby girl. Yep. A lot of people saying girl. Okay, so we got a girl. Girl, baby. Girl power. All right. So at least I know that much. So yes, I will ask. Night Owl Nation. If y'all watching this, my mommy's out there. Give me some suggestions on what to send my beloved physical therapist that got your boy back up and running, literally running. So I gotta send some love and send something and just yeah. So much love in the air, man. So much love in the air. You're a hater if you ain't got no love in your heart.
I think that's actually the definition of a hater. Yeah.
No love in your heart.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much, yeah.
Okay. How about that?
Damn, man. It's beautiful.
Good stuff, man.
It's truly beautiful. Life is good, man. Life is good.
It is.
Not every day is good, but life is good.
In general, life is good.
Yeah.
I made a post yesterday. I put this up in I know y'all not sponsoring yet.
Come through.
Come see us. Come see your boy. I made an Instagram post yesterday, a story post where I was in the gym at UW Parkside, and I had my Project Rock backpack, I had my Project Rock gear on, and the story behind the whole Under Armour thing is when I was in the Navy, when I was in Germany, to the Germany part, I was in Germany and I was doing stuff with Wounded Warrior Project. I was volunteering with them and USO and doing some other things. But USO really took care of me and showed me love while I was showing them love and showing love to the warriors that were getting themselves back together and either ready to go back to the fight or going home to the next level of care. And so I appreciated that. It was actually when I got there, it was the first time I'd ever worn any Under Armour gear. And so I started wearing Under Armour, and that just has been a staple for me. And I always remember some of the mantras and some of the things that The Rock says, and The Rock is like I'll probably fanboy out when I see The Rock, man. Like
Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
man. Dwayne Johnson is it, bro.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson for president. Send it.
Yeah, he is it for me, man. So a lot of their principles and their vision and just their care for human beings and taking care of us in our time of need and our families in our time of need. That's why I rock with them. Yeah. That's why I rock with them so heavy. Well, like I said, they're partnered through Wounded Warrior Project. So because of that partnership and because of Project Rock branding and that partnership, so because of that, that solidifies my love and support for Under Armour. So that will be that way till I'm gone off this earth. So
yeah, and that's if you don't got love in your heart, the hater perspective is they did that just so they could get people like you to lock in and never go away from their brand. The real perspective is let a good thing be a good thing. That's fucking beautiful. Props to Under Armour. That's fantastic. I love that.
Props to them. So yeah. The story post was because of the progression that I've made in running. I actually ran damn near a full sprint yesterday around the track.
Hey.
And I ran several times around the track. I hadn't even run a quarter of the track at any point in time leading up to yesterday. So that was the win. So it made me think about the time there at school. It made me think about Germany and the time with Wounded Warrior Project and all of that. So I was having a grateful moment yesterday when I shared that. So and because I support this because of one, the ingredients that are in it, and the fact that it is a Dwayne Johnson brand. So yeah, I rock with it.
Can you imagine if they put that big ass dude in the White House, man? After the last few presidents we've had of all this just like old decrepit shit, if you just had somebody that's like throwing up 500-pound squats, just like fucking can speak like a normal human being. Oh man, I would love it. Please send Dwayne Johnson. Just give us some more positive male role models.
I know
the situation with male role models right now is just fucking tragic. If you go looking for them, you can find them. But golly, some of the stuff we put on the internet.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dwayne Johnson too.
Yeah, that's an amazing example. Amazing example of a human being and a man's man at that. So if you ever see this,
Dwayne, come through, man. Come
through.
Tell us about what it's like to become The Rock and then somehow never lose the name The Rock, even though you haven't been in a wrestling ring for like 3 decades.
Hey,
this man is going to be The Rock for the rest of his life.
For sure. That's his brand. That's his talk about brand identity. That's his brand.
I bet that was a fuck it moment when he was like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'll go professional wrestling, whatever.
What is the story on? Is it Hulu? Who has the man? I cannot remember. I want to say it's Hulu, but it is through a different network. I think ABC has it. ABC or NBC, I think has. I can't remember, but one of them has the show that is basically about his life. So it's talking about the trajectory of him as a kid, living with his father was a wrestler and his family was in the sport, and just the different dynamics of how the journey to college football and wanting to play pro and that not working, and then wrestling, and then where he is now. And then he even talks about running for president or some kind of political figure in the show. I want to say it is The Rock. I want to say that's what the name of the show is. Let me, you know what? I got to look. We cannot
I'll watch that 100%.
We can't not pull that up. The Rock series.
Yeah, that's like, man, if you think there's only one path to anything, I don't understand why people get so locked in. Arnold Schwarzenegger, fucking governor of California. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Look at that man at 25. And he's like, yeah, I will be the governor of California.
I'll be the governor.
Fucking from Terminator to, I can't see it. Is it The Rock?
It's Young Rock is the name of it.
Young Rock. Oh, it's like a comedy show.
Yeah.
Like kind of everybody hates Chris vibe. I'm with that.
Right. It's kind of like that vibe. That was a good show too.
That was a good show.
Yeah, it's kind of like that vibe. Very, very good. Very good. And if it is depicting his life, then that is a great show. So I believe that is what it is it is doing. So definitely get a chance, read the bio. I'm on IMDb right now.
Yeah.
And read the bio, check it out. It's a great show.
Another dope ass human, Donald Glover.
Oh,
he got into SNL by submitting a episode of The Simpsons he wrote when he was like 14.
Wow.
They were just like, we're doing a casting call, and he wrote like one new script, and he sent in something that he wrote when he was 14, and they put him on the SNL writing fucking staff, and now look at him. And in the middle of him being he's doing hip hop, and he comes out as Childish Gambino, just fucking around, and Derek Comedy, just having fun on the internet. And now he's producing ATL. Dude,
ATL,
come on,
bro. Oh,
follow your heart.
That is, wow. That's another. When I hear him talk, when I just listen to him talk about artistry and his craft and why he does it the way he does it, and how he views the world and how he views things, and that's what impacts and guides how he writes his script and develops his stories. If you haven't watched ATL, I think that's definitely, well, you know what? I'm not even going to jump to ATL. If you haven't looked at any of his videos, like music videos, especially, oh my goodness, what is it? America.
This is America.
This is America.
This is America.
Especially
don't get you slipping that. Yeah,
boy, and in the height of when that came out,
man.
Whoo, if that didn't do something for you, man.
We gonna have some man.
I gotta watch that. As soon
get
as
your money, black man, get your money.
I loved everything. That was a great video, and he explains that. He explains that in an episode I watched on YouTube, and I can't remember what it is just yet. It'll come.
Yeah.
But he's explaining his thoughts around that. And then ATL and the various episodes and the progression of each season and how it went from season 1 and got even more dicier in 2, 3 in the final season. And Donald Glover, genius. Salute, bro.
Outstanding.
Genius.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
That's
a fact, man. Man,
indeed. There's so much beautiful, good work happening out here. It's all just people following their heart, doing what they got to do.
It is.
There's no plan. I mean, maybe there is a master plan, you know, depending on what you believe in the world. But your plan is not the plan. I can guarantee that.
I can attest to that because I'm here today because of a plan that ultimately that wasn't the plan.
Yeah, you don't get to write that.
Wasn't the plan. Wow. Yeah, man. And that's the story I want to be able to tell, man. And that's the story that I want to ultimately, that's what guides me. That's what, and I think I've said it before. Maybe today I'm saying it a little clearer. Is those stories, you know, my story, your story, their story of just doing, just going in, making it a priority and doing. And when it was time to pivot and be okay with you did the thing. It took you to a certain level, but it came a point that it was time to stop and make the next transition. And over time, when you continue to do that, because the first time is always going to be scary. The next time is going to be scary, but maybe not as much. And there's going to come a point that each time you have to pivot, it's like a no-brainer. You just did it. And when people ask you, well, what made you do this and go to this and go to this? And it just was like, it just was time. It just was time. You knew it was time to make the pivot. You knew it was time to do the thing and give that thing your attention now and less attention, if not any more attention, to the other thing. That's the part of the journey that is beautiful.
Yep. Hell yeah or no? Send it or just fucking Find the other thing, man. I'm with it. I love that.
Yeah.
Make that move.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Do it live.
I'm glad we're not monetized yet, because I think I probably
to play us out. What the fuck does that even mean, to play us out? Stupid fucking thing. Bill O'Reilly, 1995 or some shit. I don't know, when he still had hair. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
You said that last episode too, didn't you?
That's one of my favorite quotes of all time. That is literally one of my favorite televised moments. I don't think it was on television. It's on YouTube. Anytime somebody says fuck it, I jump straight to Bill O'Reilly losing his shit because his teleprompter isn't working. And you know what? Sometimes you do just got to do it live, just like we're doing now. The reason we are live right now is because we had to say fuck it, we'll do it live, because fucking Riverside, I'm not going to talk bad. We are live. It says live right there.
But we're just recording.
No, we're not live.
I remember I said we weren't
the
doing.
Same.
Remember I said we weren't doing live.
Same.
It's still the same. But yeah,
2 weeks ago, we said fuck it, we'll do it live, and we did it live because the other thing was busted, and we were both frustrated and just said fuck it, we'll change it right now instead of trying to go through another week of doing the same stupid shit that isn't working.
That's right.
I love it. Fantastic. This is a great way to end the show, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe.
I think it is. I think it is.
It's your show. I'm just a guest.
You're not a guest, man. This is just as much your show as it is my show. So
no, I'm a weekly guest.
Just know it. Just know it. No,
it makes me feel more special to be a guest. I'm your. Never mind. I don't know where I'm taking that.
What's his name on the Tonight Show? Is it Guillermo?
I don't know.
Is that the right show? Am I on the right night show? Yeah, I see it come up. I see it come up. It might be Guillermo, whichever show he's on.
Guillermo del Toro.
I guess. I don't know his name.
It's not Guillermo del Toro. I'm sorry. I threw you. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad I wasn't like, yeah, that's him. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well
all
done.
Cap. All cap. That'd have been all cap.
Do you have a cap for every cap that you like? Because you got a lot of caps. Is there? Like,
I have a lot of caps.
So, like, when it's no cap, do you have to take the cap off?
You ruined it.
Do you have like?
You ruined it.
Is the Park City cap more or less cap than the Seattle Mariners cap?
You ruined it. It's been great today, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode here on Creative Journey. We are just here to help you navigate your journey and to become a better version
to be capping all day, every day.
Yourself every day. Don't mind him right now. He is just a guest. So we're just here
Son of a bitch, I got myself. God damn.
But we are here to just share our story and help you become a better version of yourself.
Captain, I'm a co-host.
Become a better version of yourself every day. We'll see you in the next episode. As always, you guys take care.
10 minutes, 1%. Go get it. Let's go.